We shared that as we were making that transformation from mostly tax annual only clients to the monthly recurring full service. So, bookkeeping, payroll, tax, and advisory clients. As we were making that transition, we had a fairly difficult time. That's saying it in a very nice way, but a fairly difficult time convincing those clients that we were only seeing once a year that they needed our services and how much benefit that they would get, how much value they would get from having our services throughout the year. One who he was more like an annual client prior to signing on to monthly services and converting. And so even though he was still like a very large annual tax relationship, we served him differently and he valued our services at a certain level that when we start having these conversations of he has a pain point, he has a need, we're in communication with him frequently, even though we only do annual tax returns. And so, if I have to say one thing, I would say for this client, one strategy was reverse selling, but not on purpose. So, we were talking through, we have a very close relationship of knowing the intricacies of how his businesses function and how the team that he had set up. And by him listening and trying to come up with alternative ideas, he was actually the one who, by us communicating what we do for other people, he was the one who found the ways that it could work in his business and what he was willing to do. So we didn't have to convince, we didn't have to try to go outside of what we offered to everyone else. It was on his part that he said, okay, I think if I did this and this, what would it look like if your team came in and did something? I think what's really interesting there, where if we had been talking to a different client with an annual tax return, a business, so an annual business tax return and an annual individual tax return, if we had been talking to that client and it was someone we only knew once a year, I don't think that we would hold the role of trusted advisor that we do with this client because of the value and the relationship that we have built with him over the years, by offering those consultations, by answering maybe what some would feel as the hard questions that he asked, where he really is asking the opinion and what would you do if you were in my situation, and not being afraid to answer those, or just making the time for him to even have those conversations. And so I think that those are kind of two things that helped in this. Was that one, it was probably more of a reverse selling, and letting him know these are the things that we do for others, but I don't know that it fits well in your business. And then the other, he was able to listen and was curious because he trusted what we had to say and the value that we brought him over all of the years.